Welcome to this edition of the El Segundo City Council Recap. I'm your host, Martha Guzman Hurtado. Let's take a look at the items presented to the El Segundo City Council at their June 15, 2021 meeting. During special presentations, the City Council recognized the El Segundo High School girls soccer team for a phenomenal season and making it to the CIF Championship for the first time in the school's history. Dr. Wonder, superintendent of the Da Vinci School, provided the City Council and staff with the COVID-19 Response Appreciation Certificate. He thanked the All Hazards Incident Management Team for facilitating the vaccinations of all school staff. He also thanked City Council for welcoming the school to the community in 2017 and providing support to ensure their success. Information Systems Technology Director Charles Mallory presented a golden shovel to City Council on behalf of the South Bay City's Council of Governments for the completion of the South Bay Fiber Ring Project, a regional broadband fiber optic network. The city worked in collaboration with the South Bay City's Council of Governments on the project that will enhance high-speed capacity broadband connectivity in El Segundo and throughout the region. During special presentations, the City Council proclaimed June 19, 2021 as Juneteenth Celebration Day and urged the community to celebrate diversity and the rich culture and experience of the African American heritage. Juneteenth commemorates African American freedom while also serving as a reminder of inequities faced by African Americans throughout our nation's history. Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee Chair Chad McFadden accepted the proclamation on behalf of the community. Dr. Randy Collins, the city's emergency services coordinator, presented the COVID-19 update. He shared positive news about the lifting of restrictions statewide. The rate of transmission has significantly decreased over time. Cal OSHA is expected to provide updated guidelines about wearing masks in the workplace by June 17th. Governor Newsom has stated that he expects Cal OSHA guidelines to align with the state health officer order put into effect on June 15th. The state has rescinded the colored tier system as part of the Beyond the Blueprint guidance. Businesses can resume normal operations. Individuals not vaccinated are still required to wear masks in all indoor public settings, and fully vaccinated people may go unmasked in most settings except when using public transportation or entering healthcare settings. Masks are also required indoors in K-12 schools, homeless shelters, cooling shelters, emergency shelters, and detention centers. In settings where masks are required only for unvaccinated individuals, businesses, venue operators, or hosts have three options. Number one, they can provide information to all guests and attendees regarding vaccination requirements and allow vaccinated individuals to self-attest that they are in compliance before entry. Or number two, implement vaccine verification to determine whether individuals are required to wear a mask. Or number three, require all patrons to wear a mask. Exemptions to wearing a mask include young children 2 or younger, persons with medical conditions, those who are hearing impaired, and any person for whom wearing a mask could create a risk to the related person. The All Hazards Incident Management Team has successfully conducted 18 vaccination clinics and facilitated 2,606 vaccines to date, including first and second doses. The team has also been recognized by FEMA for their outstanding COVID-19 response and will be meeting with the FEMA representative to discuss joining their supplemental response team. The City Council also recognized Police Chief Bill Whalen on his retirement after a 32-year career and thanked him for his leadership. City Manager Scott Mitnick read a commendation sent by County Supervisor Janice Hahn to thank Chief Whalen for his years of service. Chief Whalen reminisced about his career and shared his team's accomplishments in El Segundo to enhance public safety and being an employer of choice.
In closing, I want to thank the community for generously welcoming me here back in July of 2017. I've appreciated the continued support not only of myself, but of the entire police department. While it's true the profession of law enforcement is far more challenging than it was 32 years ago, I remain incredibly inspired that there are still women and men who are ready to accept this challenge, raise their right hand, and put service above self. I wish nothing but the best for this community. I will miss all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
The City Council approved the consent calendar but called out 2 items to discuss before voting. They discussed item 10, professional services agreements and blanket purchase orders for the fiscal year 2021-2022 over $50,000. Section 2 of this item, authorizing the city manager to execute an amendment to Agreement 5861 with Reister Pacific Incorporated for the city's economic development and hospitality and tourism marketing services, and authorized payment for services up to $350,000, which includes includes $206,000 from the general fund and $144,000 from the Chevron grant fund. The City Council asked Deputy City Manager Barbara Voss to provide a report at a later time to show the return on the marketing dollars spent. City Council also discussed Item 8, also part of the blanket purchase orders request. This item authorizes the City Manager to amend the contract with All Cities Management Services Incorporated for ongoing services to provide crossing guard services for the El Segundo School District for an amount not to exceed $130,000. City Council expressed concern about increasing costs and the city picking up 100% of the cost. The city manager will work with the school superintendent on joint use agreements to see if there's a way to reduce the city's expenses. The City Council also recognized Public Works projects on the consent calendar for being completed ahead of schedule and thanked Public Works Director Elias Sassoon for his work to complete the Acacia Park Playground, water main improvements, pavement rehabilitation projects, and the completion of the softball field bleacher project. During committees, commissions, and boards presentations, the City Council appointed Kelly Watson to the Recreation and Parks Commission. Her term expires May 30th, 2024, and Robert Mota was also appointed to the Recreation and Parks Commission. His term will expire May 30th, 2025. City Treasurer Matthew Robinson provided the Treasury staff report and provided an overview of the Treasury investment activities and related economic indicators as of March 2021. During public hearings, Chief Financial Officer Joe Lilio provided a comprehensive budget presentation to the City Council. The presentation included the proposed fiscal year 2021-2022 operating budget, capital improvement program budget, and city strategic plan revisions. After the public hearing, Mr. Lilio recommended that City Council adopt a resolution adopting the fiscal year 2021-2022 final operation budget and capital improvement budget and fiscal year 2021-2022 appropriations limit for the City of El Segundo, and approve a resolution to change the City of El Segundo's fiscal year from the federal fiscal year cycle, October 1 to September 30th, to the traditional year cycle from July 1st to June 30th. He also recommended that City Council approve various financial policies such as the General Fund Reserve Policy, Economic Uncertainty Reserve Policy, Unfunded Actuarial Liability Policy, and the Topgolf Reserve Allocation Policy. The last recommendation was to approve the proposed revisions to the Year 3 of the fiscal year 2021 to 2022 City's Strategic Plan. The City Council approved the budget and staff recommendations after a lengthy discussion about how to best address budget shortfalls and fund items in urgent need of attention, such as capital improvement program and parks and recreation facility upgrades. City Council wrestled with how much money should be saved in the general fund reserve and whether it would be more prudent to take that money to fund items that have been deferred due to budget constraints. Mr. Lilio recommended keeping the reserve fund balance at 20% to help offset any economic uncertainties that may be on the horizon. Ultimately, the council voted to keep it as is for now, with the option to consider using money from the reserve fund at a later time. City Council also asked the city manager and staff to take a strategic look at the organization and determine where to reduce expenses by $1 million and report the findings in October. The adopted budget will go into effect at the beginning of the new fiscal year on July 1st, 2021. Also during public hearings, Customer Service Treasury Manager Dino Marscocci proposed fee adjustments to the fiscal year 2021-2022 master fee schedule and asked that Council adopt a resolution establishing changes to the schedule of fees and charges for city services. The City Council approved the resolution and directed staff to share the updated master fee schedule with the community. The updated fee schedule will be available on the website. City Council also directed staff to look at recreation, parks, and aquatics fees to identify areas to generate more revenue. Dino Marscocci explained that they are currently doing a fee study on recreation, parks, and aquatics and will report their findings in September on cost of services and fee recovery percentages. During staff presentations, Human Resources Director Rebecca Reddick recommended that the City Council adopt the recommendation to create a part-time temporary special projects administrator position to assist staff during the current period of vacancies to maintain services to residents. City Council approved the recommendation. During City Attorney reports, the City Attorney recommended that the City Council introduce and waive the first reading of an ordinance repealing the city's campaign contribution limits in favor of state law's campaign contribution limits effective January 2nd, 2021 via AB 571. The bill signed into law on January 1st establishes default campaign contributions for cities and counties to no more than $4,900 per person per election. The City Council voted to approve the ordinance and will bring it back for a second reading on August 17, 2021. To watch the complete City Council meeting for June 15, 2021 and learn more about the agenda items covered, visit elsegundo.org or watch the meeting on Channel 3.